This is another installment in our book creator series, and today we'll be focusing on Capacity 7, which is how you can personalize learning, and we're going to try to do it in science and social studies. And hopefully if you've seen the math and the language arts video, that you will be able to see the book creator is such a great tool that you can really use it in any content, really, to teach kids. You can have kids teach other kids. You can have it as an assessment. So it's such a useful application that just can be used in so many different ways and varieties. So we're going to start off just by looking at some text that could be made if you don't have a certain kind of content that you can't find that would be appropriate for your students. So some of the books I'm going to show you were actually created for a first grade classroom just because it was very hard for them to find appropriate grade level books on certain kinds of content that they wanted to teach. So for instance, here's one about patterns. This is a science content, of course. And then this was created basically for the students that they were teaching. They were also focusing on text features. And every time you see a star, they want you to understand different kinds of text features that they had there. But and then as you can see, there's a video embedded in here. So what the students did was they actually could learn solely from this book. And by if they clicked on the speech button, it would read to them. So our teachers wanted them to learn about science content, and as you can see, there are even pictures of students that could be in their classroom. So that's one example. Another example, now this is a social studies example. This was created for a classroom for social studies because they wanted to focus on certain African American male and females that had been successful in what Black History Month was. So we found information on different people, we embedded videos, and this was tailored just to the students that we were working with. And of course, they could click on the speech button, it could read to them. This was just a great way to teach them some content. Another example is our American Symbols, which is a social studies content, and this was the content that they wanted for their students to learn. So we took all the content, we put in this book, it's read aloud to them, and it was very engaging for our students. The last one we have is a book about space. Okay, now this one's a very simple book. This was written for kindergarten students, but as you can see, lots of sight words are in here. We try to tailor it so even those students could practice simple sight words and practice with their reading. So another thing that you can do with Book Creator is you could actually have the students work with you to make a text together. So this is a book about recycling. And what we actually did was we had students, help us with the pictures, and they actually helped us write sentences. And we typed these sentences in here, and we made a book about recycling, which would really discuss that social studies content. And they just love seeing themselves in the book and really just seeing how they were authors and part of this whole process. And lastly, if you would need, an assessment, you want your students to, show something, why not have them make a simple science or social studies notebook, which they could then just record all of their, observations or ideas or things that they've learned. And this is just kind of like a template which you could send out to them through Google Classroom. They could download and have their own, but you could have them type their notes. You could have them video explanations, take pictures of things, and then annotate on them. So there's just so many different things you could do with this, and then this would be a great tool just to have and showcase with other students and showcase with families. So there's so many great things you can do with Book Creator in the science and social studies areas.